Everybody, welcome into the 2-minute drill today. Like Biscardi from the Silver Bulletin here. I am joined
Buckeye Steve from Buckeye Backers and College Football Backers. Man, it got hot in the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. They turned up the gas, just like Day said, and it is turned up in here. We are cooking with sweaters on, boots on, had to take the jackets off.
Yeah.
And just like it's heating up in here, it's been heating up in the news for Ohio State today, right?
It has, yeah. Today's National Signing Day, but I think the biggest news in Buckeye Nation, outside of waiting the decision from Chris Henry, which the pucker meter is rising here in Columbus for that, was Brian Hartline taking the job at USF. And, you know, he's been a name that's been floated around a lot of places. He's one of the best coordinators, and we know he's the best position group developer in college football there. We can run you the lineage of all those wide receivers. Right now, though, having Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, and Brandon Ennis. But something Ryan Day said, Steve, when we were talking about, hey, Brian Hartline's going, what is this going to look like for this program for Ohio State? So Buckeye Nation, key in on this real quick. It was very important from Day. Brian Hartline's going to stay throughout the entire run of the college football playoff. He said he wants to finish this thing the right way, which is good. Yes, his attention may be divided, but he's going to do everything that he can to stay with this program, finish it the right way. He wants to win the Big Ten. He wants to win another national championship. He's completely bought into that. They said he's played here, so he is a Buckeye through and through. But then what also Ryan Day said is there's great stability here. And that's something when you're looking around the country and saying, okay, can we negative recruit? Can Ohio State still maintain this high level of production and development at the wide receiver position on offense? And the infrastructure at Ohio State is bigger and stronger. The culture is bigger and stronger than just one single individual. I think that was a key point from Day where he emphasized the stability and the culture in a place and in a sport where there's not a lot of stability as you look around the country.
I think he just meant even the world in general, there's not a lot of stability right now. At Ohio State, with the Buckeyes, there is stability. And then in college football, the world's completely upside down. The calendar's wrong. But Ryan Day said he's not going to throw up his hands. They're going to keep fighting, keep swinging, and throw their best punches. So they are going to keep winning at this thing no matter what. If they have to prepare for their headsets being out at Michigan, they have to prepare for that because you know what? It might happen. So he gave that wink earlier this week. We know maybe he knows some things are going to hit. He's ready for the curveballs because he's been hit with every single curveball you can possibly throw at him, including the calendar for college football, which needs to change. But that's for the offseason. Let's talk more football. Let's talk Big Ten championship. You talked about the wide receivers being back for Sayin. Sayin talked about it today, too. He was like, yeah, of course it's better. You know, we took our shot right away. As you saw, he kind of smirked there because he was like, we got to give our guys the ball. He's ready to do that. He feels like he's kind of grown up, too, a little bit. He talked about the wink or the shh afterwards. And I thought that was a really cool moment because maybe he wouldn't have done that before. He said he probably would have in September, but it was just the crowd. It was the noise. It was being in the away environment. It was being at your rival. But, man, what a iconic little gesture that he had. It's going to stand the test of time. Like when you go back and look at rivalries of all time, you're going to see that
right into the lore.
Right there. It's there. You're going to see that Bo Jackson picture standing up to the Michigan number 20 on Michigan and just being ready. And really what I wanted to say today too, besides everything we saw today at the Woody Hayes facility or athletic center, was Bo Jackson's a legend now. He's 1-0. Julian Sayin's 1-1 against Michigan. Some of these young guys are now able to build off that, and their resume against Michigan is going to be pretty good or hopefully pretty good in the time being.
Yeah, it's starting off on the right foot. Even going back to the shush from Julian Sayin, he's like, yeah, may I have done that in September? Sure, but he's like, you have to build up that confidence. You have to build up that equity to do that. And you can see how much he's grown. Ryan Day said that a lot in his press conference yesterday, re-emphasized it again today. Julian Sayin said it himself today in his availability. And you can see the growth from him. And they asked him about Fernando Mendoza and if he's met him. He said he has not. But he was very complimentary of the quarterback for Indiana. And we know there's big Heisman implications on this game, aside from winning the Big Ten, aside from who's getting the number 1 seed in the college football playoff. I don't think the loser should fall past 3. They shouldn't really fall past 2, to be completely honest with you. There's a lot riding on this game for both schools, both programs. This is probably the biggest game in Indiana football history. And it's a game that's extremely important to the Ohio State football program. And Steve, you know, one of the big things for Ohio State every single year, you want to win the rivalry game, you want to win the Big Ten, and you want to win the national championship. Those are the 3 goals. For the first time since 2019, they've won the rivalry game. They're going to have an opportunity now for the first time since 2020 to win the Big Ten championship. And we talk about, is Ohio State going to have a letdown? I wrote about this on Tuesday. I don't think that they will, because this is that goal. You look at Michigan, winning that game was not a destination for Ohio State. It was a goal, and they accomplished it. Now they're on to the next one here in Indianapolis, playing in the Big Ten Championship.
Well, just to play off that, you talked to Kenyatta Jackson today, and he was like, no, we haven't accomplished anything. We're still a bunch of no-names. Yeah, we might have got that one goal, but we haven't accomplished anything. Like, he was very serious about that. That culture, everyone's bought in, that we're not anywhere until that hardware is complete. We need that full gamut of hardware, and there's a lot more to be earned. And it starts this weekend. You know, that Big Ten championships, no one on the team has one. And it's time to go get that. It's time to lift some more hardware, and Kenyatta Jackson and the rest of the team seem to have bought into the culture. And that goes back again to what Ryan Day said. The stability's here. The guys are bought in. They lost 14 guys to the NFL, and they're here, number one, undefeated, going into the Big Ten championship.
Better than a year ago?
Probably better than a year ago, yeah. I mean, this team looks better. It's different. It's a lot different, the way they're set up offensively. Their defense is still number one, but it's different, right? I mean, they're very multiple. They're moving guys around. They're playing half a zone, half man on one side of the field, which is, it's just awesome, the schematic advantage and a close-knit nature of not just the coaches to each other, but the coaches to the players and the players back to the coaches. This is a different team, and they are bought in. It's going to be interesting because, like you said, Indiana's got that motivation. They haven't won a Big Ten championship since the 60s. And that was, you know, it was a shared championship,
very different. Yeah, there wasn't a game.
And there wasn't a championship game. So first time in the history they're in the championship game. And, man, this is going to be a big one because Indiana's right there close. You know, it's like a home game for them. But you're not going to be able to see who wins the crowd because there's going to be red on red on red there the whole time.
If you can delineate scarlet and crimson, okay.
Yeah, maybe, But on the TV, I don't think you're going to see that. But there's going to be a lot of fans from both sides. This ticket's going through the roof, and it's not cheap. But what is awesome to see is just back again to this culture that this team has. It's second to none. It's better than anything I've ever seen or experienced.
I think it's tangible.
Yeah, you can feel it. Yeah, anywhere. I mean, it permeates the air even. Like in here, like everyone knows that this team is locked in. They're ready. They're dialed in, and they have that mantra that we haven't done anything yet. Nothing has been accomplished. You're 12-0. And if nothing's accomplished then, I'd hate to see what it is like when it is accomplished. Actually, you know, I'm going to like to see it. Lifting trophies at the end of the day.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about, too, when I asked you, like, are they better than a year ago? And you're like, well, we're going to see. How do you become better than a year ago? You accomplish your goals because last year you won a national championship. How do you get better than winning a national championship?
Gold pants.
Exactly. Yeah. And what else? What's in between? The Big Ten championship.
Yeah.
It's not a stain, but it's something that wasn't accomplished for Ohio State last year, winning the Big Ten championship or getting gold pants. They've gotten the gold pants. Now they can get the Big Ten championship. And you're going to feel that full sense of accomplishment. We accomplished all three of our goals for the first time since 2014. If you're hoisting that gold trophy in January, winning a national championship after you get a win on Saturday, you're going to open up the college football playoff in a quarterfinal game in the Rose Bowl. That's what you're playing for. You're playing for another trip to Pasadena, the iconic venue. Should be the permanent national championship, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's no better setting in sports than the Rose Bowl to me.
The San Gabriels, man, there's nothing better than seeing the sun go down.
Yeah, right to start that fourth quarter.
Absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
And if you get the chance to experience it, you got to, because it's worth every minute of the trip out there. And this is a game that we're playing for, right? We want to get to the Rose Bowl. Ohio State wants to get back to the Rose Bowl, and you're going to get there if you win this game.
Yep.
This is a big game. Like, I don't think people realize how big this is because they might look back to the Indiana of old. It's hard to kind of escalate Indiana to what they really are.
You have to recalibrate your mind. Yeah.
And it started from the bottom. Now we're here is kind of how I put it. They are here. They're in the Big Ten championship game. They're one of two undefeated teams in the nation, rated number 2. They have a chance to go to the Rose Bowl for them. I don't know when. That's something I need to look up. When's the last time Indiana's been to a Rose Bowl? No idea.
Should be the Affleck trivia question.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. When's the last time they won a Rose Bowl? Who knows?
That too.
But this has just been, same as it always is. They're saying we're here for us. We're here to get our goals accomplished, and this is the next step in accomplishing our goals.
Yeah, and it's 1 versus 2. The first time a Big Ten game is going to be number 1 versus number 2 since the iconic game of the century in 2006 between Ohio State and Michigan. Now you have it for a Big Ten championship trophy, and the whole college football world's going to be watching on this one. I know game day is going to the SEC championship game. None of that stuff matters. This is a 1 versus 2 game. And some people are saying this is the least big 1 versus 2 game I've ever seen. It's like, I don't know how that's possible. This is Indiana's first trip. Ohio State needs to win the game. There's Heisman implications, number 1 seed. I mean, this is as big as it gets.
Yeah.
It is as big as it gets, unless you get it in the national championship game.
Yeah. That's the only thing. Well, I mean, I guess you could have a 1 versus 2 in the Rose Bowl, and that would be pretty big, or any of the playoff games later on. But this is essentially the national title game, really. I mean, you're going to see it's not as meaningful because you can lose and you still have your opportunity. Mm-hmm. But both these teams are motivated. Let's be honest. You get a trophy at the end of this. Anytime you're playing for trophies, you want to win. Right. You get the number 1 seed. Like you said, you get the Heisman. It's as big as it gets. Mm-hmm. And the Big Ten should just say it's bigger in the Big Ten. That's what they need. That's their new mantra. Yeah. It's just bigger in the Big Ten. That's what we need to start saying, because this championship game is.
It is.
It is that. It's bigger.
Yeah, no, it is. And then, anything else that stood out to you tonight, Steve, from some of this availability, some of the storylines surrounding this Ohio State football program right now, winding down this 2-minute drill?
Well, I asked Kenyatta Jackson, I was like, how did it feel holding your rival scoreless in the second half? How did it feel to keep them from a touchdown? And he was like, it just felt good. He was real quick, to the point with his answers, and I like that about him. He's a matter of fact, about the business type of guy, and he's been showing out. I mean, this defensive line, a bunch of no names. Yeah, they're not no names anymore. Everyone knows the names, and they are down to business. They want to just do what they need to do to accomplish the next goal, to get more hardware, and then they'll celebrate. Yeah. If there's another banner like that at the end of the season, that's when they'll say, hey, we've accomplished something.
There's room for it.
Yeah. There's room. There's a big space there. So we're just waiting for that banner to be hung. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you think Indiana's going to put up much of a fight? That's the question.
I do. I think Indiana's a great team. Brian Day was very complimentary. Mm-hmm. My question, and this has been the question all year long, can you score 3 touchdowns on Ohio State? And if any team can do it so far, Indiana is the team that can do it. And I believe Indiana has the players. Mm-hmm. But we're going to get into the fourth quarter. How is Indiana going to fare? Like, this is their first stage of this magnitude. I know coming to Columbus last year was a big stage, but this is for a title. Mm-hmm. How is Indiana going to respond to this moment? And this is year 2 under Kirk Cignetti. That's for me. I think it's going to be competitive. I think Ohio State, though, eventually overpowers Indiana. I do think that they win the game by double digits, but that's how I see it. And, just here for final thoughts now.
Yeah, for my final thoughts, I do think Indiana's one team that has the possibility to match up and has the possibility to score points on Ohio State. The only way I see that happening really is from quick passes. Out.
Right, or a turnover in a short field.
And turnover in a short field. We'll always do it in any game. Yep. But that's how I see the only way Indiana can attack Ohio State with any success. Now, that success doesn't come without risks. If you're getting the ball out quick against this defense, and a hand in the air is going to get an interception quick, or a ball batted down, or you're going to time it up wrong because you're trying to throw it too quick, and someone's going to be in the lane. So I see them struggling to try to score a lot of points initially in the very beginning, because they're going to need to do it right away, and they're going to feel that pressure to do it right away, because if they don't, then they're going to start feeling this defense suffocating them, and that's going to be the problem for Indiana. I see them taking a lot of risks the first couple possessions. So if they make those risks, then we got a game. If they lose those risks, then it might get lopsided. I don't know.
Yeah, it's possible.
Or at least be a close game.
Yeah. So, guys,
I gave all the options possible.
You did, and that's football at the end of the day. But guys, again, thank you for tuning into the 2-minute drill today. Again, Buckeye Steve from Buckeye Backers and CFPbackers.com. Again, Blake Biscardi from the Silver Bulletin. Guys, God bless. Enjoy the Big Ten championship game, and we will see you soon.
God bless. Take care.